your day of racing. Well, it looks like riders are preparing themselves for the start of this race. We look down, we see there's Barry Karsten. He's maybe right side of that start gate now. Didn't see exactly where John Gruey was. Actually on the left side of that gate. He's got a pretty good direct line to the inside turn, and I would imagine not far to his left would be that number 70 of John Gruey, as the gates are down and racing action now underway as we roll into that first turn. And it is Rockford, Michigan's John Gruey grabbing the early lead on this one. Oh, Barry Karsten right there with him, though, now as they go into the Bell Moto Hole Shot Forest. They're nearly side by side as they head down the straight chutes. And, of course, it's the 70 of Gruey taking the early advantage. But Karsten not going to relinquish it so easy. He pulls back up beside him now, wheeling through some of those tough moguls that have developed over the course of this race day today. And, oh, tough break there. Kevin Kozak going, no, that's not Kozak. It is a 48 machine, though. Kozak's not in this Masters 50-plus class just yet. That might have been Steve Watkins on the Suzuki from Middleton, Tennessee. Royal Swimming Pool's backed ride and having a tough time there on lap number 1 and through that first turn. But looks like things are starting to settle down now here in Storyland as Gruey has pretty much established that lead out here and starting to put some distance between himself and the second place ride of Karsten. Some of the other top starters we saw out there, James McElvain, Frank Koenig, also Derek Latham, Matt Crown got a great start, Mark Smith, Ralph Bentley, Edgar Fodish, and Galen Dixon. We'll see whether or not they're going to be able to and what they're going to be able to do with those starts that they got here today, as we are nearing the completion of lap number 1 now here in this Masters 50-plus class. Leaders over the first tabletop, stepping up and over there and over that tabletop now under that Kawasaki banner and into that big Thor sweeper turn around Polysport, Lake Polysport. And, of course, the final turn, a hard lefter there for the number 70 of John Gruey, and still under not much pressure since about the 10 Commandments. Looks like he pretty much shook things out there and settled down. And John Gruey holding on to a comfortable lead. Now here we go. The battle back in third place appears to be Matthew Crown, the number 45 now, as these riders make their way by Frank Koenig and Derek Latham are all 3, 4, and 5. Mark Smith back in 6th, Ralph Bentley in 7th, James McElvain 8th, Earl May is 9th now, and Edgar Fodish rounds out your top 10. But we watch that battle for third place position as it goes around and behind the now into the first turn region. Crown, the 45 Yamaha, having the lead there, and it looks like Derek Latham on his Honda may be making some moves out there, so we'll try to keep an eye on that. There they are now at 45 of Matthew Crown. Actually, that looks like a KTM as well, and there is the pass being made. Oh, no, that's a Honda in the 45. Yeah, that's Frank Koenig. Okay, Frank Koenig on the KTM. He makes the pass into the third place position. Crown dropping off to the fourth place spot now, so that should put Derek Latham solidly back in fifth place aboard that number 22. But this battle for the third place spot not over yet as riders make their way through Storyland now. And Crown back into that number 3 position, at least for the moment, as position jockeying continuing now. Frank Koenig back to the number 4 spot. So they're going back and forth here a couple of different times. And we're working on wrapping up lap number 2. And the battle wages on for third place. No change here yet. Still a fairly nose-to-tail battle. A little bit of distance starting to be established there for Crown over Koenig, but we'll see if that will continue to be the case as we near the 4-minute mark. And now John Gruey checking in with a 2:04.074, 2:07 for Barry Karsten, and a 5.2-second lead. Looks like Gruey certainly has things covered down here at Loretta Lynn's for this Amateur National Championship finale in this Masters 50-plus class. But right now it's still up in the air. Crown and Koenig in that battle as they go around the billboard to the inside. The 43 of Koenig trying to make that pass, cannot make it stick. Big deep lines coming out from out behind that billboard section. Dropping down Believe it or not, that's how big the hole is. Talking about it dropping down a couple of feet as those riders work their way around the extreme inside of the billboard. Now we're out into the short chutes, and it's still the 45 with Koenig still showing a wheel every so often out here. Derek Latham back in 5th. Oak Edgar Fodish is 6th aboard the 51. Alan Alford, the 21, up to 7th place now. Ralph Bentley is 8th. Mark Smith is 9th. Todd Rico is now 10th place, and Earl May drops to 11th with Galen Dixon in 12th. James McIlvain is 13th. David Kirk is 14th, and Davy Jones, the number 35, rounding out the top 15. Once again, John Gruey grabbing the early lead in the Bell Moto hole shot in this one, and had a little bit of contention out of Karsten for the first third of a lap or so, but for the most part, once we hit Storyland, well, the story changed, and John Gruey has been by himself up front and haven't noticed any mistakes by our front runners yet, as our 3rd and 4th place riders make their way off the Rocky Mountain sweeper turn. Our leader, the number 70 of Gruey, now into the final turn. Barry Karsten now diving into that final turn as well, as we watch the battling from the Red Bull live drone now. And as we said, Crown really seeming to establish himself rather dominant for that 3rd place position, as down in front of the billboard goes the number 70 of Gruey now. Karsten still about, well, now about 8 seconds back in that number 2 spot. We see a 2:02.3 for John Gruey. Karsten turning a 2:05 that last time around. Seeing that gap expand. Crown now a 2:10 and 13 seconds behind Karsten, with Koenig only about 1.5 seconds back, losing a majority of that time on that last lap around. Fodish up to 5th now as he gets around Latham. Latham dropping like lead as Alan Alford up to 6th. Earl May now outside the top 10 a lap ago, and now up to 7th place aboard the 82. That's how quick things can turn around. Todd Rico in the number 9 spot with Derek Latham now in 10th. Galen Dixon up to 11th. James McIlvain 12th. Davy Jones from 15th to 13th now. Tim Bernoller is 14th, and Ralph Bentley, make that John Choate the 3rd, rounds out the top 15. But all eyes still on that battle for 3rd place, honestly, other than, well, the battle for 6th, Alan Alford and Earl May. That might be another great place to pick up some racing action as well if you're watching from the fences. The 21 of Alan Alford on the Suzuki, the 82 of Earl May. May turning a little faster lap time, just less than a second behind him, and there we see him on screen now in that battle. It looks like they've got a host of riders around them as well. So we got Earl May, Mark Smith. They're both about a second and a half behind Alan Alford as they make their way into the 10 Commandments now. So this has turned into a 3-way battle, and Alan Alford, the 3rd, seeming to rise to the occasion as he now puts a little bit more distance between himself and May, and I think that comes at the expense of Mark Smith starting to put that challenge on the 82 of May for 7th place. So now he's gone into a little more of a defense mode rather than an attack mode, which got him all the way up to 7th from that 11th place position from lap 2 to lap 3. So May now under fire and under pressure for 6th place. Let's see if he can maintain the spot as they head over that step on and now over the Camelback. Wow, Earl May powering through that sweeper turn right now, and it looks like he might be closing back up on the 21 of Alford, and he is. So he's starting to see some gains again. He lost a little bit of time there on that lap doing battle with Mark Smith, but now things subsiding a little bit there, so May can focus more on the push, and Alan Alford, the 21 machine, ahead of him. There's Barry Karsten on screen now, the 31 machine, now looking at a 10-second gap and some lap traffic that he's trying to work through right now to try and get a glimpse of the number 70 of Gruey now. As Barry Karsten enters Storyland, he can look over to his left, and he'll see that the 70 of Gruey's already been through and still trying to keep that pace. Karsten hoping for any extra edge that he can gain here in this second moto. Coming into this one, Gruy with the point lead with a Moto 1 win. Karsten in second, finishing second. And right now, if we go into the third moto with what we're seeing now, that will be identical finishes. Well, basically 1-1 and 2-2 for those two. The third place position is what seems to be up for grabs the most right now. Frank Koenig, who finished third, running in fourth right now. Matt Crown, who finished fourth, is running in third. So we may see a little bit of a change-up going on there. And oh, wow. Hey, I don't know if you follow Ken Roxon on what is that, Instagram? Yeah, Instagram. If you follow Ken Roxon's watching Loretta Lynn's right now, folks. He is, he's got an imitation podium presentation or podium speech of Jet Lawrence that he's doing on Instagram. You got to check it out for yourself. Thanks, Ken Roxon, for listening and watching RacerTV.com and the continuing coverage here from Loretta Lynn's. Gruy working his way through that 10 Commandment and a field of riders as he tries to maintain that lead. His fastest lap just turned on lap number 5 that last time around at a 2:01. He had been running a 2:02, but dropping now just a little bit quicker than that to a 2:01.7. Karsten running at 2:07.5 in the lap traffic he's in, and now looking at a 16.5 second gap, but still wondering what's going on with Crown and Koenig. There is 3 seconds that separate the two, and they've been running nearly identical lap times, less than 1/10 of a second separating their difference in lap times out there. So that gap is remaining right there in that 3-second range for the last couple of laps. Fotis all by himself right now, at least for a moment, in that 5th place position. He's 11 seconds back from Koenig, but look behind him now. Alan Alford getting the push from Earl May as May just picked up the pace and pulled to within a second now of Alan Alford. So the battle for 6th is back on between the 21 and the 82. Watching shots from our Red Bull live drone now as Gruy checks in for lap number 6 complete now. A 2:09 lap time. He dropped from a 2:01 to a 2:09 lap time. And again, I credit a good portion of that to the fact that he was deep in that lap traffic. Barry Karsten now making his way through the finish line region and that lap traffic as well. He turned the 2:09 lap time. That gap still right there, or 15, 16 seconds. As Karsten makes his way past and around behind the billboard now. We'll check back a little further. What's going on here now with Fotis, Alford, and Earl May in that battle, what could be a battle for 5th, shaping up here pretty soon. All right, there goes the 43 machine. Should be seeing Fotis come through on the 51 now. And side by side, Alan Alford is pulled up right next to Fotis now in the battle for the number 5 spot. I believe Fotis may have been surprised. Earl May's dropped back and now almost 2 seconds back as Alford really wicking it up there on lap number 6, turning a 2:10 lap time. 3 seconds faster than Fotis out there. So now we've got a battle for that 5th place position as they head through the Bell Moto Whole Shot Forest. So we may be looking at a new 5th place position between Alford and Fotis. Earl May might get a little bit of inspiration there as well as we see Karsten making his way around on RacerTV around that Rocky Mountain sweeper turn. As we said, 16, we're going to say closer to 17, 18 seconds whenever we check in for lap number 7 complete. White flag coming out for this for these. Actually, I think the 2 lap board just came out, so we'll see a white flag next time around. So 2 lap board out for John Gruy now. Or is that the white flag? No, that's 2 laps. So Gruy in 2:04. Barry Karsten again checking in here in just a moment. He's just now making his way into the last turn, trying to manipulate that lap traffic. So Karsten getting slowed way down that time. Gruey's speed back up to a 2:04 on lap 7, a 2:09 consistently there for Barry Karsten. 21 seconds now, almost 21 and a half to separate first and second place. Third place coming around another 25 to 30 seconds further back. Crown and Koenig, and there comes the 43 of Koenig. I believe he's still just behind the 45 machine. Yes, and the 45 checking in at the finish line of Crown, opening up that third place position lead over fourth. Koenig there was 5.3 seconds at the end of 6, now 7.5 seconds. So he gained another 2 seconds, a little more on Frank or over Koenig, and now Fodish falls to the number 6 spot, as that is Alfred into the number 5 spot aboard the 21 machine. Earl May gets around as he moves into 6, so Fodish drops actually to 7th. Alfred really rocking the boat there. Earl May seeing that, able to take advantage of it, making the pass. Fodish now in 7th. Mark Smith checks in 8th. Galen Dixon up to 9th, and looks like, let's see, who's our 10th place ride? Latham going to be able to, no, looks like it's going to be Todd Rico rounding out the top 10 with a 2:17 lap time that last time around. So I'm assuming that this will be the white flag lap, maybe? No, this might still be, that might have been 2 lap boards, so this might be the white flag lap. I seen an indicator come up on the screen a few moments ago that said we were heading towards a white flag, so wow. There it is. Oh, it's a 15-minute moto. I guess that's why I just now saw that. So checkers are out, and John Gruey takes the win in that one. Barry Karsten in second. Matthew Crown. I think we were both a little surprised there. I thought it was a 20-minute moto, too. So Jason Wygant is on a dead sprint now down to the podium to talk to John Gruey. So John's got a couple extra seconds to grab a little Gatorade and get cooled down there here on this late moto on a Wednesday evening. Karsten is in now, and I believe that we will see Matthew Crown checking in here in just a moment in that number 3 spot. But good push there for Alan Alford as he moves up into the number 5 spot. Also for Earl May as a late race push pulls him up into the 6th place spot. Can't take anything away from Fodish. He's looking at 7th place. Mark Smith in 8th. Galen Dixon in 9th. And if nothing changes here, which I don't think it will, Todd Rico will round out your top 10, or Richo. It's not Ricochet. Maybe Richet. We'll go with Richaud. Richet? We'll just ask him sometime. Somebody tell him to come up here and let us know how to say that. So it is Gruey, Karsten, and Crown 1, 2, and 3. And we head down to the podium where Jason Wygant will be talking to our top 3 overall here in this second moto for the Masters 50-plus class. We're going down to the Race Tech podium for our top 3 and our Bell Moto Hole Shot Award winner.
Well, he's getting faster every year. I don't know how that's possible. He's probably going to hit peak speed when he reaches age 70 on the number 70. Another gold. Let's hear it for John Gruey.
Oh, man, thank you.
Grab that one. And we'll grab the medal. I got too much stuff here. Hang on. And a Bell Helmets Hole Shot Award. So hold that up. You're a Bell Helmets guy, right?
Yes, sir.
All good. Bell Helmets guy. So what's the deal? Just keep getting quicker? Feeling better every time?
Man, I think I just know every year what it takes to come here to Loretta's, man. It's just brutal. And there's like certain amount of motos and length of time you need to be able to do before you come here. And if you're not there, you're in trouble. So I have that like marker, and I just stick with that program every year. And, you know, and sometimes I have a little more time and I can put a little more into it.
But you do have the regular job, right?
Yep, 55 hours a week.
Do the people think you're crazy? They're like, he does some weirdo hobby thing.
Yeah, no, they know. So, you know, and it's kind of cool. My boss, as a younger man, did some like fair races and stuff. Okay. So he knows what it's all about. I know he wishes I wouldn't go away as much, but, you know, in the same token, he knows I love what I do.
Yeah, that is awesome. Who do you want to thank, John?
Man, Team Babbitt's, Team Green, Kawasaki, Dunlop Tires, hooking up, Fox Gear, Twin Air, Bell Helmets, Renthal, Decal Works, FMF Exhaust, Factory Connection Suspension, W Wheels, Renthal Bars. And man, anybody who helps me along the way. My mechanic Mikey over here, big help, you know, so I appreciate what he does.
All right, Kawasaki gets it with John Gruey. Good job, John. Always a pleasure talking to these riders. We'll bring up my buddy from New Jersey, Barry Karsten, who's going to take the silver. And another hard-fought moto and a silver medal. Let's hear it for Barry Karsten. All right. Do you run the extended visor in every moto? It hasn't been muddy this week, but I see it every time up here.
I don't underestimate anybody. So if I get a bad start, I don't want to run out of tear-offs. I don't want to have to pull a tear-off. Okay. So I duck a little bit. The roost still goes on my goggles, and I'm good to go.
Okay. So do you go through whole motos sometimes without even pulling?
That's a perfect weekend.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, you got to get out front. How'd that moto go for you, Barry?
Oh, good. Battled for the start. Actually dove under him, swept him in the second turn. He got me right back. Went around 3 more turns, swept him back around the outside again, and then that's about it. He got me back, and then he just slowly pulled away the whole race. Yeah,
another classic early one between you guys. And as always, who do you want to thank? Same old companies.
Yeah, I forgot a couple answer. I mean, I'm looking good this weekend.
We were actually noticed that. I'm like, dude, he's pretty fresh for Barry.
Yeah, new ride helmets, Scott goggles, FMF pipe, my Dunlap tires, Twin Air, decal works, KPS suspension. Man, there's just a lot of people that have been helping me. South of the border helps, you know, basically my family for supporting my son and letting me come there whenever I want. And just, you know, having a great event like this and, you know, being able to put, you know, 20 or 40 of the fastest 50 riders in the country together and race.
Yep, and you're right in there with him with the silver, Barry Karsten. All right, that's great stuff. And we'll get third. He manages to get it this time. He was battling so hard for the bronze the last time, but this time he gets it. Let's bring up Matt Crown. I saw you after that first moto, and you just pointed to the arms. So the arms, were they better this time?
Yeah, they're a little looser. More like a little numb, I guess. It's been a while since I rode like that.
Yeah, you took some years off, right?
Oh, yeah. Like I said, coming here, I started thinking, man, I probably should get some gear. My gear was all like 4 or 5 years old.
Okay.
So luckily, Andy at FXR hooked me up with some stuff to make me stick out.
Yeah. And getting better each time. This moto did feel better?
Oh, yeah. Track was a little better. Lines were better. It's and getting more comfortable. We never ride anything like this. And,
yeah.
And man, these guys are going fast. They're just, it's crazy how fast they're going now for being as old as we are.
Yeah, that's right. Who do you want to thank, Matt?
I thank my family and for putting up with all the stuff we do, myself, my son, and all the traveling, all the racing, and it's pretty crazy that they endure all that, you know. All the families out here, it's a big sacrifice for everybody, and everybody needs to pat themselves on the back just being here. It's a big commitment. And I like to thank Championship Power Sports for letting me borrow a bike, really, to come down here and do this. It's without that, it'd be a little harder. And of course, FXR, Dunlop tires, Jeff up at MX Tire for being here, giving everybody a deal, keeping their tires mounted. And I'm sure I'm forgetting some people, but just glad to be up here.
All right. Here's your own suspension company? What's that?
Yeah, I guess I should thank MCR. That's the one that really put me here, right? It's we're down here, and that's another reason. I've got a lot of riders, and I'd like to congratulate all of them for even making it here and putting the work in to be here. In fact, I've got a couple guys on the line that I'm gonna watch. It's good. Good family, good people, and yeah, I thank them all.
All right, that's Matt Crown taking the podium in 50 plus. Thank you. Yep. All right, and let's send it back up.